Hi everyone, and welcome to this second lesson on Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I'm going to be looking at trust issues then. Starter activity. As you might have noticed when you watch the film, there is a distrust of the pod people in the film. And what I want you to think to yourself is, how could this film be used as a metaphor for the 21st century? Okay, pause the video, have a think. It's quite a philosophical question. How might this film be a metaphor for something happening in the 21st century? Pause the video, have a think, 5 minutes. Okay then, now, originally when I made this PowerPoint, the first thing I thought of was things like immigration, maybe refugees, maybe people considering certain things about different cultures and backgrounds. But obviously in this climate, a lot of people might be thinking, oh, well, look at this coronavirus taking over people, not really knowing who the enemy is, etc. But so this film might be a metaphor for a whole range of different things. But the main thing that I was thinking when I first thought about the film as a distrust and relating it to the 21st century was how we treat foreign nations and foreign people and how we feel about them, like this distrust, and maybe we're going to end up, oh my God, we're going to end up like them. Okay, I don't know what you guys came up with, but that's what I thought of. Now, we're going to be looking at science fiction bingo first of all then. So have a look at these conventions. All right, so you've got settings which are isolated or claustrophobic. There's new technology, is good versus evil. There's new political systems, a dystopia, which means like the opposite of a utopia where things have gone wrong. Symbolism, props or costume represent a change in society. Outer space, aliens, robots, artificial intelligence, mutants, laboratories, world concern coming true, destruction of Earth, alien invasion, new discovery, male strength, female weakness. Characters have some advantage over the heroes, changes in biology, body switching, and unsure who they can trust. Now, what I'd like you to do here, it's obviously not done in pairs, but I want you to see if you can find a sci-fi film that you know that meets a lot of this criteria. So have a think about which films that you know that meet this criteria then. Okay, so you can use your phone if you want to. Spend 5-10 minutes thinking of a film that meets this criteria, then pause the video. Okay then, so you may have found lots of them. So what I want us to look at now is Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Let's pick them apart. Setting, isolated and claustrophobic. Not really. New technology? No. Good versus evil? Yes. New political systems? Yes, to an extent, because they're all coming together. Dystopia? Yes. Props or costume represent change in society? Yes. Outer space? We don't see it, so I'm going to say no. Aliens and robots? Yes. Artificial intelligence? No. Mutants? Maybe. Laboratories? No. World concern coming true. We're going to get to that in a few lessons' time, but yes. Destruction of Earth? No. Alien invasion? Yes. New discovery? No. Male strength? Female weakness? Totally. Characters have some advantage over the heroes? Yes. Changes in biology? Yes. Body switching? Yes. Unsure who they can trust? Yes. So you can see how Invasion of the Body Snatchers fits so many of these science fiction conventions then. What we're going to be looking at then is a key scene in just a second. But before we do that, I'm going to put these links in the description of films that have characters who are unsure of who they can trust in sci-fi films. So you've got the example from Terminator 2 in the top left here. You've got The Thing here. You've got iRobot. You've got The Faculty. You've got Village of the Damned, and you've got Independence Day. So I'm going to put these clips in the description. Make a few notes on how these films show a distrust for the invader or the thing that's changed. Okay, so pause the video, spend about, it might take you about 20-25 minutes to do this actually, to be fair. So once you've done that, make all your notes and then we'll move on. Okay, pause the video, watch all these videos, make notes, and then move on. Okay, let's move on then. All right, so you've got Terminator 2, distrust of the Terminator. The Thing, distrust of other people because it becomes other people, and it also becomes like different types of animals, etc. In Independence Day, you've got a distrust of the alien taking over the man. In iRobot, you've got obviously a distrust of the robots. In The Faculty, you've got a distrust of the teachers. And in Children of the Damned, you've got a distrust of those monstrous looking children. I looked a little bit like that when I was a baby. All right, let's move on. So this is again that question for task. It's not task number 1. It's question 1, but don't worry about that. Okay, and we're also not going to be looking at B again. We're going to get to that in a couple, perhaps next lesson, I think. So you are going to be identifying one genre convention using your chosen film, and you're going to be exploring how that convention you have identified is used in one sequence from your chosen film. In your answer, refer to at least one key element of film, cinematography, music, sound, editing, or sound, whatever. Okay. So you'll be doing a focus on C. I'm going to give you A again, like I did last lesson as well. Okay, so let's watch this scene then. All right.
See you again.
Hi, Greg. I heard you were good.
Would you be able to forget that you're a doctor for a while?
Why?
I don't want you to call the police right away.
Quit acting like a writer. What's going on?
Maybe you can tell me. You're the doctor. Miles, put the light on over the pool table. Go on, pull it down. Well, what do you make of it?
Who is he?
I have no idea.
His face, Miles, it's vague.
It's like the first impression that's stamped on a coin. It isn't finished.
You're right. There's all the features, but no details, no character, no lines.
It's no dead man.
Have you got an ink pad around the house?
Should be one on the desk one.
Why not take the corpse's fingerprints?
Of course it's a dead man. What else could it be?
I don't know, but I've got a feeling that... This sounds crazy, but if I should do an autopsy, I think I'd find every organ in perfect condition. Just as perfect as the body is externally. Everything in working order. All set to go. Hold it now. He's a blank.
Waiting for the final finished face to be stamped onto it.
But whose face? Tell me that.
I think we could all use a drink.
Bourbon all right?
Fine.
Lovely, thanks. Miles, answer me. Whose face?
I haven't the slightest idea, honey. Have you?
How tall would you say that thing is?
5'10", thereabouts.
How much does it weigh?
I don't know, it's pretty thin. Maybe 140 pounds.
Jack's 5'10", weighs 140 pounds.
Teddy, will you stop talking nonsense?
I'm sorry, darling.
Come on, let's have that hand.
But it isn't.
All right, so the question was, how can we tell the characters distrust what they're seeing? And the sorts of things you might have thought of as you watched it were checking the fingerprints, checking the face, because it looks odd. It doesn't look like a true face, a real face. You've got Jack's wife, who speaks about the idea of the person lying down looking a lot like him. You can think about how the mise-en-scène and cinematography represent them, but we'll get to that in just a second. So what you're going to be answering then is question C on explore how one convention you've identified is using this one sequence, and you're going to be looking at distrust, okay? Distrusting what they're seeing, okay? So you need to see an example first, and I've picked weak female characters, which are evident in the scene. So let's have a look at 1C, weak female characters. While the men are dealing with the body, the females are left in the dark at the back of the room. Choosing to keep them in the dark is a symbol of where men in sci-fi tend to want to keep women to keep them safe. The two women are quiet and keep out of the conversation. When the man's wife gets upset, she's presented as paranoid and childlike in how the characters treat her. When the diegetic sound of the clock goes off, Becky recoils in fear and looks shocked, showing her weakness. The men handle this a lot better. The choice to have the convention in this scene is to build up tension by putting the audience in the position of the scared women. It is sexist but effective. So what I've put together here in this analysis is how the females are presented then. Okay, so they're kept in the dark as a symbol because men want to keep them safe in sci-fi. The two women are quiet and keep out of the conversation. What I'm showing you here is a sort of the sort of checkbox I'm looking for. You've got to mention the fact that it's typical of sci-fi, but you've also got to mention what it represents to the audience and how it makes them feel as they watch it. You can also do a little bit of analysis on whether or not this representation is positive. That might get you some extra marks to the examiner because of they appreciate a little bit more critical thinking. So what you're going to be doing then is, instead of analysing weak female characters, you are going to be analysing distrust in the unknown, distrust in the aliens, okay? Now, in this scene, what you might have realised is that there's a lot of film language that you can analyse. So let's take that back a little bit. Now,
Everything in working order.
you can think about the fact that the woman's kept to the back, whereas the men are at the front. You can think about the idea of having a close-up of the fingerprints, etc. But what I want you to do is analyse how this scene represents the distrust of the unknown. But you have to analyse cinematography, mise-en-scène, editing, or sound. Okay, what's the shot composition? What's in it? Where is the camera situated? How is it edited together? Is it a fast edit or slow edit, and why? What sound is used and why? And perhaps how do the characters react to it? So I want you to analyse the distrust of the unknown in this scene, how these characters distrust what they're seeing. Okay, all right. So that is the main activity for the lesson. I want you to spend about 15 minutes on it, analysing that scene. Pause the video, 15 minutes, choose your own shots and examples, off you go. Okay, so last activity, same as before, peer assess, self-assess. Self-assess. So have you explained what the genre convention is, how it's used, the genre convention is used? Have you explained film language, and have you discussed the effects on the audience? Okay, give yourself a strength and target based on what you wrote, and see if you've got a different strength and target the last time. See if you're improving upon what you've done. Don't forget to include all of these 3 elements. Okay, that's the final activity, and I'll see you guys in the next video.